Using media indicators in Greece, experts forming the MEDIVA Project have reached their own conclusions as to whether and to what extent certain media outlets reflect diversity and promote migrant integration into Greek society. Triandafyllidou is the coordinator of the MEDIVA Project, and she's on the line with us now, just ahead of the conference, to tell us more. Now, ma'am, what are the conclusions so far?
Well, actually, we want really to attract the attention on how successfully or unsuccessfully the Greek media reflect the diversity of Greek society and promote migrant integration. Promoting migrant integration is understood in the wider sense, so both in representing migrants in a positive way, or at least in a fair way, and secondly, by employing migrants and by having specific training or employment schemes to fight discrimination and promote the voices of migrants in the media, both for questions that concern them and for questions that are of general interest.
Can you tell us a little bit about the MEDIVA Project and what kind of indices you use?
Well, we have constructed 4 indices. The first index regards the content. What do they say about the migrants? The second is about their news-making routines. What kind of news are related to the migrants make the headlines? And also which sources you consult to construct the news. And then, of course, we look at whether they have any specific recruitment and employment practices, as I said, for fighting discrimination and promoting migrants in the journalistic profession at various levels. And, of course, a training for all journalists against discrimination and, training about how you use language, how you report, etc. If I may say that, the Greek media don't have anything as regards training, recruitment, and employment.
That does say something bad about our profession. In the indices, though, that you use, are they statistically measured? Is content analysis a statistical feature, or is it just merely open-ended?
No, the content analysis is based on a concrete methodology. Of course, what we present is a pilot study on 3 months, but it is a quantitative method, and it can be applied over a longer period. Actually, It should be used to, the idea is not so much to control, but rather to provide a tool so that media can also monitor themselves. And of course, if an independent source wants to monitor the media, they can also do it. I should say, however, for a little praise, a very moderate praise of the Greek media, that they do have specialized journalists. These are not journalists generally that have received any kind of formal training on diversity or on reporting on migration, but generally among the large newspapers and large TV channels, there are people who have trained on the job and who usually cover stories on migration.
So would you say then that the media is largely operating on stereotypes?
Well, I'm afraid, of course, then if you go and look to the stories are about criminality, irregular migration, etc. They're not about issues of integration or about, portraying the normal problems that migrants and their families may have, or we don't see much of migrants in the mainstream issues. Like you discuss a crisis, you discuss the banking sector or whatever, and you may introduce what particular issues migrants may be concerned with. That is not really very much in the media. But as I said, it is also important that, with the exception of one medium that does not censor racist and xenophobic language, also most media, although they don't have specialized codes of ethics, they either do it ad hoc or they use the codes of ethics of SEA, of the Athens Union of Journalists in the Daily Press, and hence they always edit for racist and xenophobic language.
Do you think there's been improvement or a decay over the last few years?
I think there's overall improvement in terms of language. It's a slow improvement, but there is improvement in terms of language. And of course, it's not consistent across the media scene. Some media are more sensitive, and for instance, they don't use terms as λαθρομετανάστευση, but rather say undocumented migrants, or asylum seekers who are pending, their cases pending, etc. I don't think there is improvement in promoting migrants' involvement in the journalistic profession. Actually, we mainly find migrants in as technical staff in the media. And when we ask for specialized programs, either from the countries of origin, relating to the countries of origin, or in the languages of the major groups, etc. Generally, the media, the directors of the media think this is not relevant because the readership is Greek. And if there's any migrant that reads the mainstream Greek media, they believe it's a migrant who's assimilated.
Well, apart from ourselves, the station here, which utilizes obviously colleagues that are migrants, there are also migrant newspapers in Athens. Did you take these into account?
No, our indicators do not apply to ethnic media.
Oh, I see. And do you have any recommendations for the future for us?
Yes, I think. Well, the recommendation is not so much for the media themselves. I think there should be more diversity training at the level of university or of private colleges that prepare people for the journalistic profession. I think diversity training, in terms not only of language, but also how you cover a sensitive topic, who do you ask, how do you find them. This should be like part and parcel of, the basic studies on journalism. I think second, what should be done is more networking of the Greek media with European or international level initiatives about how to promote diversity, because the media, the media can promote migrant integration, as I said, directly through involving migrants and, fighting the glass ceiling that migrants face in many qualified professions. But the other thing is the media have a big role to play because they really present the image, if you want, of migration in a society, and in particular in Greek society. And I think there, of course, the media have to present what is news, and there is the news value or the emotion value of a specific type of news. So if you have a dramatic event that often is a negative event, you want to promote it, but there should be more awareness of that you need to balance.